Meet this guy. Let's call him Moulin Grump. He's the president of an important country. We don't know how. President Grump wakes up every day at 11 a.m. He says it's 5 a.m. somewhere. He tweets, "Rise and grind," and then immediately takes a nap. He's a genius. We know because he said so. He says, "My IQ is the highest." He doesn't know what IQ means, but it sounds fancy. Fun fact, a chimp's and grump's combined IQ is still the same as a chimp's. He once took a cognitive test. It was 5 words: person, woman, man, camera, TV. He memorized them. He thinks that makes him a doctor now, and that's where things go wrong. Because now the doctor wants to save the world. He tells people to inject bleach to fight COVID, because clean hands mean clean lungs. Everyone panics. He says he was being sarcastic. Nobody laughs. So he bans sarcasm. But banning sarcasm doesn't fix the economy. So he tries math. He taxes foreign goods. Says it protects American jobs. Prices rise for Americans. He calls that winning. Stores complain. He calls them unpatriotic. Economists protest. He says they sound foreign. He starts a trade war. Now things cost more and people are angry, so he tweets harder. He says, "Tariffs make America rich again." They don't, but tweeting it feels free, so he keeps doing it. Then he realizes his phone makes him powerful, so he treats Twitter like a nuclear button. One night he types, "Kofifi." No one knows what it means. He says it's classified. The internet makes it a religion. He calls himself a prophet. His keyboard autocorrects it to puppet. He starts drawing on maps to prove he's right about hurricanes. The map looks scared. Meteorologists disagree. He calls them weather losers. Then tries to buy Greenland to cheer himself up. Denmark says no. He calls Denmark nasty. Then plays golf to prove dominance. Golf relaxes him until his ball hits a windmill and he loses the game. He declares windmills cause cancer. He says the noise ruins lives and hair. His scientific source? Trust me, bro. That's when he stops trusting science altogether. Because it's cold outside. He tweets, "Where's global warming when you need it?" The planet reads it and warms itself out of spite. Now the weather's mad too. Tired of the shenanigans, he engages in social life. He meets Tim Cook, calls him Tim Apple, meets Elon Musk, calls him Elon Rocket. Now everyone is their brand. He calls himself Moulin Grump Incorporated. He's the CEO, founder, and only fan. He once boasted that he knows more about technology than anyone, then asked if the internet is like a big brain with cords. He has a button on his desk, not for nukes, but for Diet Coke. He says it helps him think. It does, for 12 seconds. That's how long his policies last. He signs papers like an earthquake. His signature looks like a mountain range on caffeine. He calls it power. In reality, it's just an ECG. He holds a peace summit at his own golf resort because nothing says world peace like room service. The world doesn't come. He says they're scared of success. They say they're scared of his compliments because he meets the president of Liberia and asks, "How'd you learn English so well?" English is their national language. Colonialism may have damaged the country, but Grump damaged their faith in world geography. Reporters speak with the slightest accent. He hears Morse code, says he can't understand foreign media. They're actually from Cleveland. At home, his wife speaks, and he waits for subtitles. He calls it great communication. The interpreter calls it hazard pay. Happy, he walks off to his balcony to look at a solar eclipse without glasses. Scientists warn him not to, but he's got main character energy. He says, "It was beautiful." Now his face has turned orange. Thanks to his new look, he feels more confident than ever. He launches billion-dollar fireworks in the Middle East while Americans crowdfund insulin. Logic says fix healthcare, save lives both ways. But logic doesn't trend. So Grump funds a war, then calls himself a peacekeeper because he thinks that's how the Nobel Prize works. Spoiler, it's not a loyalty program. When that doesn't win applause, he builds a wall, but the wind knocks it down. He blames the wind. He blames the Mexicans. He calls it very disrespectful. Then he tweets about it, which creates another storm. Online this time. So he starts banning apps. TikTok laughs. He bans laughter next. He wants loyalty, so he shakes hands like it's an arm wrestling match. One leader loses circulation. He calls that diplomacy. He says testing causes more COVID cases because if you stop testing, numbers go down. That's also how he manages his taxes. He calls every bad headline fake news and every compliment breaking news. When reporters ask questions, he rates them like game shows. Good question, 0 stars. He stops trusting anyone but himself and some dude called Epstein. He calls himself the chosen one. Bibi, his BFF, totally agrees. He says it during a press conference. Acting on newfound divine energy, he goes and clears a crowd with tear gas just to hold a Bible upside down. The church calls it trespassing. The Bible files for emancipation. Blessed by the Lord, he says he's a self-made billionaire. He started with a small loan of $1 million from his dad, who also owned the bank. He says that proves hard work pays off. He wants to end hurricanes, so he suggests nuking one, because you can't argue with explosions. Scientists argue anyway. He calls them wind traders. He gets banned from Twitter. He calls it censorship. He builds his own app, then gets mad when no one else joins. He logs in with 3 accounts to feel popular. He wants power, he gets chaos, he wants respect, he gets memes, he wants legacy, he gets Kav-Fifi. He builds a brand on being a winner, then spends 4 years proving how losing works. He still wants to come back for the 3rd time. Not for the country, for the Diet Coke button. So why does it suck to be Moulin Grump? Because he got everything he ever wanted and still couldn't find the off switch on his own mouth. Maybe because it's stuffed with cheeseburgers and Diet Coke half the time. He wanted to rule the world. Now he argues with the wind. He wanted to make history. He became a typo. We call him Moulin Grump. Subscribe and peace.